Welcome back to London. We've just saw that exit poll and it is devastating for the Labor Party. I want to bring in John McTernan, Ben Laker once again. John, first to you, devastating for the Labor Party. This would put them losing 70 seats, nowhere near forming government, and basically a wipeout.
It's the worst defeat since 1945. It's a stunning rejection of Jeremy Corbyn and his policies, his politics, everything he stands for. He has to stand down immediately, and the Labour Party needs a big rethink about its politics to be rejected so badly and so easily in the end by Boris Johnson.
Where do you think these losses will be? Will it be in that Labor heartland? And is that the biggest concern, that you're losing these people that have voted Labor their whole lives?
Labour's losing on these numbers almost all its seats in Scotland, going back again, but it's losing seats in the northeast and northwest areas that have been solidly Labour through everything, even through Margaret Thatcher. So it is the heartlands. Once you lose the heartlands, all you're left with is London and other major central cities, and so you can't win election in Britain if you've only got urban seats. And so Labour needs to rethink how to get back working class voters, how to get back northern voters, how to get back any voters, because I think the Welsh results could be bad for Labour too. Now
368 would be the biggest majority for any Conservative government since Margaret Thatcher, Ben. This is far more than the latest opinion poll predicted. The Tories have got to be pretty happy with this one.
Absolutely, and certainly if the SNP results are to be correct, that must mean that Labour are completely squeezed out of Scotland, and the Conservatives have made huge strides into the Red Wall, particularly Wales and, as we've heard, in the northeast, but possibly even elements of London as well. So as we see those results come in, expect the Red Wall to be completely dissipated.
The Red Wall completely dissipated. Well, we thought there would be at least some inroads made there, but yeah, it does seem like you're saying it is at the moment, Ben. Let's talk about the SNP for a minute. They've got 55, according to this exit poll, of a possible 59 votes. That gives them, well, they've got no say in government because the Tories have a big majority in their own right. But what does this mean for the strength of the party and their argument for things like a second referendum for their own independence?
Certainly on the rise, and I think one of the key relationships for British politics in the next 5 years will be Nicola Sturgeon and Boris Johnson. And in 5 years' time, will Scotland be independent? Possibly yes.
Wow, that's a big prediction from you, Ben. Do you agree, John?
No, I don't, because I think Boris Johnson's made it clear during the campaign and his time as Prime Minister. There's been one referendum on Europe. He wasn't for a second referendum on Europe. There's one referendum on independence. He's not for a second referendum. So I think he will actually spend the 5 years as Prime Minister, which he has a big agenda, spending a lot of money in Scotland, spending a lot of time in Scotland, actually giving Scotland the attention he's not been able to give it. And I think he'll try to take it back. And the SNP face all kinds of problems, which is that they are the only party in Scotland, but they can't run police, they can't run schools, they can't run hospitals. Eventually, you know, in Australia you couldn't run a state government forever by saying it'd be better if we were independent, but we can't do the schools and the hospitals. So that's coming back to bite as well. So let's see how the politics unfolds. But I don't think Johnson's in any mood to concede to anybody. He is the master of his destiny. He's got such a big majority, a Thatcher-style majority in one go.
Yeah, that's extraordinary. But the big story of the night, John, I hate to keep on banging on about it, is the complete capitulation of the Labor Party. This is devastating for the socialist agenda, the movement, and Jeremy Corbyn himself. Now, you, an hour ago, doubted that even if Jeremy Corbyn loses tonight, he would step down. Do you think he will be under more pressure given the enormity of the loss?
Yeah, look, I think he has to go. He has to go immediately, he has to go quickly, and has to allow a leadership election that allows the party to debate. Clearly, the country, as I've always thought, the country does not want far-left socialism, doesn't want mass nationalisation, massive tax increases, the state coming back into every aspect of life. That's been definitively shown by this result. It's time for Corbyn and Corbyn's ideas to leave the top of the Labour Party. And this makes it very hard, actually, for Corbyn's chosen MPs, the ones he'd like to succeed him. This is now a debate amongst the centre of the Labour Party and the right of the Labour Party about the direction the party should go in.
OK, Ben, looking at this, if this exit poll does prove correct in a couple of hours' time, what does it mean for Brexit? What does it mean for the Conservative agenda? And is the mantra right? Will Boris Johnson finally get Brexit done, and when?
Well, it seems to be that will be the case, and he will certainly suggest at the end of January. That's when his version of Brexit will begin to be delivered, and certainly the voices in the European Union tonight will be very, very interested, very much talking about what this means for them, and actually are there any other roadblocks in the way now. And certainly from the Remain side of the United Kingdom, has the last roll of the dice happened? And I think yes, it has.
We'll keep an eye on Boris Johnson's seat, absolutely. John McTernan, Ben Laker, appreciate your time. Now, there's plenty more to come. That is just the exit poll we're talking about here this evening in London. We will start to see the results come in pretty thick and fast from about midnight to 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. local time here. But that's it from us just for the moment.